Hello and welcome to Business 360. I'm Shireen Bhan. The headlines that we're tracking for you this evening. The Sensex and the Nifty hit a record high after posting the biggest rally in over a year. All sectoral indices end in the green after a strong GDP data and the BJP's sweep in the state elections.
Next 5 years, from a stock market perspective, will be the real Amrit Kal.
Outcome over the weekend, I think it can gain further strength from here.
Top market experts predict the bull run will continue. Expect global investors to flock to India, but many also admit that valuations remain a concern. The Mizoram People's Movement, a six-party alliance, looks set to form the next government in Mizoram, leads in 27 of the 40 assembly seats. Sitting Chief Minister and MNF leader Zoram Thang is trailing in his own constituency. The BJP comes a distant third. With 2 seats, the Congress is confined to a single seat. Parliament's winter session kicks off to a rocky start. The Lok Sabha was adjourned over BSP MP Danish Ali holding a placard in the House protesting against the abusive language used by BJP MP Puri during the last session. Several important legislations, including the bills to replace the Indian Penal Code and Criminal Procedure Code, are on the agenda this session.
19,000 crores. Net profit after tax. A company that you wanted to privatize in July 2021, today is going to end up with a profit like this.
The Union Petroleum Minister HardeepSinghPuri signals that the government is in no hurry to privatize BPCL, says it's a profit-making entity and you should sell businesses that are loss-making. The government holds about 53% stake in the oil marketing company.
We are well on track. Tesla cannot afford to miss the bus. They will want the large domestic Indian market.
Tesla cannot afford to miss the bus on electric vehicles in India, says Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal at the India Business Leader Awards. He expects the EV transition to have a profound impact on India's economy. Goyal visited Tesla's US factory just last month. Heavy rains lash coastal TamilNadu, leaving parts of Chennai flooded. Schools and colleges are shut today and tomorrow. The Chennai airport is closed till 11 p.m. tonight. Cyclone Mizoram is expected to make landfall in the Andhra Pradesh coast tomorrow. Israel claims to have struck 200 targets inside Gaza in the last 24 hours. 800 Palestinians have been killed since Saturday. More than 500 people have died in Gaza in less than 2 months. 54 cough syrup makers failed the quality test by the government. Sources say the pharma regulator has put companies on notice. The move comes after cough syrups made in India were linked to the deaths of children in Gambia and Uzbekistan. Music streaming giant Spotify set to cut 17% of its workforce across the world as it looks to clamp down on costs. The move is likely to impact 1,500 jobs. Well, let's start with what turned out to be a blockbuster Monday on the Lal Street. Super Monday, as we're calling it. Strong Q2 GDP data coupled with the state election verdict providing the fuel for the bulls. The Sensex and the Nifty gaining over 2%, hitting a record high in trade. Today's rally was also the biggest that we've seen in the last 14 months. The Sensex, 1,383 points higher, 500 points 400 plus points higher on the Nifty mid-cap 500 points higher. The Nifty Bank 1,617 points higher. That was the story for the markets. Prashant is standing by to take us through the market rally. Prashant, a sea of green, records being created. What's the verdict from here on?
Higher for longer. Not interest rates, though, this time, Shireen. It's going to be markets higher for longer. That's the verdict. And, it was one of those days where you could sort of, pull out a number from your head and say, well, this index should be here. And the index was there by the end. And that's exactly what happened today. Let me just quickly tell you, what really took place. We are focusing, of course, on the weekend election results, and that's the immediate trigger. But I think at the margin, the global setup was also extremely positive from last Friday. For the first time, I would say, Fed Chair Powell indicated that they're done with this big global hiking cycle, right? I mean, Fed rate hikes are behind unless inflation once again becomes a big problem or something. Bank Nifty on the back of it made a new high, 3.5%, right? That's been the index which has been lagging. It took 1 day for that index to catch up, and the way it did. So Nifty, of course, as we told you, largest one-day gain in over a year. PSU banks. And the two areas we focused on before we started this morning were PSUs as a SPAC and PSU banks in particular. PSU Bank Index was the biggest gainer with a 4% pop. Oil and gas. I mean, actually, the common thread across stocks was anything to do with PSU did very, very well. Adani Group stocks, huge surge between 8 and 10%. FII cash figures today will be important to watch. And I think sentiment indicators, especially things like what FIIs are doing in index futures, will also give you a sense of what happens immediately. You've got a big 400-point move on the Nifty. And of course, I mean, over the next couple of months, the trajectory is higher, but nothing goes up in a straight line. So I think for the very near term, sentiment indicators will give you a sense whether, you are going to see some consolidation, some pullbacks along the way. The immediate resistance which we put out in the morning was 20,700. And guess what? The day's high today was 20,702. But as I said, the bias after what we've seen over the weekend remains higher. Let me quickly tell you in terms of stocks what moved and how. So I'll start with banks, of course. ICICI, SBI, HDFC Bank leading from the front. You had Kotak Bank and Bajaj Finance doing very well. The Adani Group stocks, so just three names there, Ports, Power, Green, all looking strong and with volumes as well. And then I come to a long list of, public sector names, sector agnostic. So you look at the names like NBCC, LIC, GSFC, oil marketing companies, HP, IOC, BP, Oil India, ONGC, Gas Authority of India. You look at the public sector bank names, Central Bank of India, Union Bank, UCO Bank. I could go on, but that really was the flavor today. But not just public sector, so as to speak, Prestige Estates, Sigh saw a very large gain, HEG, Supreme Industries, Barbecue Nation, and players like Senco, which did very well. So all in all, I mean, a rocking session, and what a way to start the week with these kind of gains. The question is, in the very near term, does the market actually continue with this pace? Unlikely, but can the market continue to move higher? Oh, absolutely. Back to you.
While we talk about next 25 years of Amrit Kaul, so to my mind, next 5 years, from a stock market perspective, will be the real Amrit Kaul, post 2024 elections. And we're starting now, because, now there is a much, much more certainty. So next few years, are really, really going to be very good for India. What I can clearly see is a phenomenal time for equity investors.
In a lot of global investors who were sharpening their pencils and wanted to be ready after the central elections, I think would prepone their decision making to maybe this month or next month, as it's around year-end time frame. Market has formed up over the last November itself was a very solid month. And now with the outcome over the weekend, I think it can gain further strength from here. Financials has so far not participated as much in the rally this year, but I think they're very well poised, given all the environment, the economic environment that we talked about. They're very well poised.
And you can catch more from our market experts, Madhu Kela, Prashant Khemkar, and others on Markets the Road Ahead at 4:30 p.m. and 10:30 p.m. right here on CNBC-TV18. It's not just the stock markets. Global and domestic gold prices also hitting record highs for the second straight day. Safe haven buying is triggered due to geopolitical uncertainty and possible interest rate cuts, helping the yellow metal hit the $2,100 mark. Analysts believe that gold prices are on course to hit fresh highs next year and could remain above the $2,000 mark. Well, that's gold for you. And in the crypto market, Bitcoin has zoomed past the $40,000 mark for the first time since May last year. The rebound comes on expectations of more rate cuts by the US Fed, hopes of the approval of a Bitcoin ETF, so also supporting prices. The cryptocurrency has surged nearly 150% in 2023 after falling below the $16,000 mark in 2022. India's top corporate leaders upbeat about economic growth, especially after the Q2 GDP print smashed estimates with a 7.6% growth rate. Speaking at the India Business Leader Awards, veteran bankers Deepak Parekh and Uday Kotak expect private sector spending to pick up. Hindustan Unilever CEO Rohit Java believes rural economy is starting to see a pickup as well. Take a look.
Looks like we are heading for a 6.5% GDP growth, and time has come for private sector to start spending. I think the animal spirits should come in sooner rather than later. I think the first and the good news is we have a very stable macro economy. Hopefully, inflation seems to be under control. And even if we hold interest rates here for a while, I think people can take a view that if oil doesn't misbehave itself and things work out well in the rest of the world, if inflation comes under check, I think we should be in for better times.
Private capital is happening. Last year it didn't happen because installed capacity of most factories was 60-65%. Now they've shot up to 80. So you have to put new factories, you have to invest in new equipment, and I see a lot of excitement in Indian private sector for expanding their existing businesses.
You saw the GDP print, it's excellent. So on the macro side, the country is really in a bright spot. And the trends are quite similar to what we mentioned in the last results calls. We see strong resilience in urban, rural coming back, but gradually. So on the whole, it's coming back, but there's, of course, a twin reality.
Well, buoyant mood there in corporate India. Now, the Bajaj Group has breached 10 lakh crore rupees in market capitalization. This makes the group the fifth business house to achieve such a feat. Only the Tata Group, Reliance banking behemoth HDFC Bank and Adani Group of companies have a market cap of over 10 lakh crore rupees. Meanwhile, the Adani Group stock soared 10% today. The 10 group companies' market cap has risen to a 10-month high. The firms added 73,000 crore rupees to the market cap, taking the valuation to 12 lakh crore rupees. Petroleum Minister HardeepSinghPuri has hinted that the government is in no rush to privatise BPCL. Speaking to CNBC-TV18 at the India Business Leader Awards, Puri said that generally loss-making companies should be privatised and stressed that BPCL is a profit-making entity and delivering shareholder returns and hence perhaps not on a priority list for privatisation.
I told the BPCL when I was reviewing their performance, I said when I joined in 2021, July, I was associated with this ministry. This was a company up for sale. Yeah. Their half-yearly profit was what? 39,000 crores? Yeah. 19,000 crores. Net profit after tax. A company that you wanted to privatize in July 2021, today is going to end up with a profit like this. And what was the presentation to me on? Sir, we are in collaboration with such and such company to make electrolyzers. We are setting up a green hydrogen power plant. That is the real story. I just want to understand, why do you privatize companies? Because either you don't know how to run them or they make losses, etc. But I just gave you the figures. I mean, this profit of 19,000 crores, I asked him today, he said, look, we've never made this profit in our life.
Well, that's the Oil and Gas Minister HardeepSinghPuri. Now, Tesla cannot afford to overlook India's rapid electrification. That's the word in from Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal. Speaking at the CNBC-TV18 India Business Leader Awards, Goyal projected that within 7 years, every new vehicle sold in India will be an electric vehicle.
I feel strengthened to say that that is right before my eyes. Another 7 years, and every new vehicle sold in India will be an electric vehicle. Can you imagine the game-changing dimension to the national economy? Yes. When we reduce our crude oil imports, when our petrol diesel consumption comes down, imagine the strength the Indian economy will have. Imagine the reduction in carbon or the fuel smoke that we see all over the country, all over the cities. So I do believe we are well on track. Tesla cannot afford to miss the bus. They will want the large domestic Indian market.
Well, that's the Commerce Minister there. Now moving to the results from the Mizoram Assembly election. The Mizoram People's Movement looks set to form the next government in the state. The six-party alliance that's contesting the polls as a recognized party for the first time leads in 27 of the 40 assembly seats. This paves the way for ZPM leader to be the state's first new chief minister in 3 decades. The 74-year-old is a former IPS officer who was elected as a Lok Sabha MP with the Congress in 1984 and expressed his intention to beat the governor to stake claim for government formation. Meanwhile, sitting Chief Minister and MNF leader Zormanthang is trailing in his own constituency.
Mizoram is facing financial crisis and the financial condition is very bad. That is what we are going to inherit from the outgoing government. In spite of this, we are going to honor our commitment. Financial reform is very necessary. For that, we are going to make a resource mobilization team comprising the expert members. After that, our main priority will be anti-corruption measures.
Earlier I said that people expected the hung assembly, but after showing the results, it's a little unexpected, but we accept it and we respect the people's mandate for this issue. Under the leadership of Narendra Modi and JP Naddaji, BJP is progressing a lot in Mizoram. Last 2018, we were getting only 1 seat, but now we are about to get 3 seats. Now we already scored 2.
Well, that's Mizoram. With the BJP sweeping the Hindi heartland, the big question now is who will be the chief minister in those 3 big states. BJP's tally of 163 is the party's best ever performance in the state, though the party did not announce a sitting CM Shivraj Singh Chauhan as its chief ministerial candidate. He remains the front runner. Kailash Vijayvargiya is also a contender. Other names doing the rounds include Union Ministers Narendra Singh Tomar, Jyotiraditya Scindia. While Scindia did not contest, Tomar did and won from the Dimani constituency. From Madhya Pradesh to neighbouring Rajasthan, where the BJP is yet to make an announcement on its next chief minister, 70-year-old Vasundhara Raje, so far the state's only woman chief minister, is in the fray. Union Jal Shakti Minister Gajendra Singh Shekhawat is also a contender. 40-year-old Mahant Balknath, a Hindutva leader, is also in the race. He won from the Tijara Assembly constituency. A member of the erstwhile Jaipur family, Diya Kumari, is also a contender. A sitting MP, Diya Kumar, won the Vidyanagar Assembly seat with a margin of over 71,000 votes. From Rajasthan to Chhattisgarh, very few gave the BJP a chance to win, but the party has managed to script a major turnaround. So who will head the government? The state's longest-serving chief minister, Raman Singh, is being seen as the front-runner. The 71-year-old is a 6-time MLA and is said to have played a crucial role in ticket distribution. The state BJP president, Arun Sao, is also in contention. The 54-year-old is a member of parliament and the tallest OBC leader in the state. The Union Minister of State for Tribal Affairs, Renuka Singh, is also a likely contender. The 59-year-old could become the first woman chief minister of Chhattisgarh. And Revanth Reddy is the front-runner for the post of Telangana's chief minister after the Congress's impressive performance. The party won 64 of the 119 seats to end the Bharat Rashtra Samiti's decade-long rule. A delegation led by Reddy met with the governor yesterday and state claimed to form the government. Karnataka Deputy Chief Minister D.K. Shivkumar accompanied them. The Congress top leadership is yet to take the final call. The winter session of Parliament off to a rocky start. The Lok Sabha was adjourned soon after the session commenced after BSP MP Danish Ali held a protest for demanding action against BJP MP Ramesh Buduri for making derogatory remarks against him in the last session. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Modi was greeted with chants of Tisri Baar Modi Sarkar a day after the BJP swept the assembly polls in Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan and Chhattisgarh. Addressing Parliament, the Prime Minister urged the opposition's cooperation to run the House and added that they should refrain from spreading hate and negativity. Several important legislations, including the bills to replace the Indian Penal Code and Criminal Procedure Code, are on the agenda this session. We'll head into a break, but when we return, heavy rains lash coastal Tamil Nadu, leaving parts of Chennai flooded. Schools and colleges are shut today and tomorrow. That and more when we return. Heavy rains continue to lash coastal Tamil Nadu as cyclone Mizoram intensifies into a severe storm. The cyclone is expected to make landfall in the Andhra Pradesh coast over the next 24 hours. As of now, 8 districts in the state remain on high alert. The Tamil Nadu government has announced the closure of schools and government offices tomorrow. The Chennai airport has also halted operations till at least 11 p.m. tonight. Large parts of Chennai are waterlogged after heavy rains. Purnima Murli brings us the latest from Chennai's Ashok Nagar area.
The entire city is inundated. In fact, the main roads in KK Nagar, Ashok Nagar, West Mamdam, T Nagar, all of them are inundated. 14 subways are completely submerged. This is one of the main roads in Ashok Nagar. and you can see that this entire stretch is inundated. Children are in fact coming here trying to enjoy the rains, even as Chennai is bracing for the cyclone. Remember, the next 24 hours, as per the Met predictions, the city will witness heavy to very heavy rainfall in Chennai, Kanchipuram, Chengalpat and Tiruvallur districts, and in fact this is something that the Met department has predicted. And even as preparations are underway, you can see children here trying to enjoy these rains, some of them trying to swim through these through the rainwater. The TamilNadu government has asked people to stay indoors, not venture out. Public holiday declared by the government, but you can see here how Chennai is bracing for cyclone. There are students who are stepping out, trying to swim, trying to play in this rainwater, but the entire city has come to a standstill. It's inundated. The main roads are also completely waterlogged, and it is going to take some time for the situation to come to normalcy.
Well, that is the latest from Chennai. Meanwhile, 54 cough syrup manufacturers who have been exporting from India have failed the quality test. This comes after cough syrups made in India were linked to the deaths of children in Gambia and Uzbekistan. Timsy is standing by with the details. Timsy, take us through the action that the government intends to take.
Well, that's right. What sources have told CNBC-TV18 is that the cough syrups manufactured for exports from India continue to remain under government radar. CDSCO, that is the Indian drug regulator, in its recent report has found 54 firms manufacturing not of standard quality cough syrups. Remember, after the deaths reported globally post consuming Indian-made cough syrups, DGFT, that is the DG for Foreign Trade, has made it mandatory for exporters to seek government clearance on quality of cough syrups. Noting this DGFT requirement, the Indian regulator has been testing all the batches of cough syrups which seek export permission. Till October 2023, out of 2014 test reports, 128 have been found not of standard quality, which were manufactured by 54 firms across India. Just to give a breakup how the data comes in, these are the reports, testing reports reported from Gujarat, Mumbai, Chandigarh, Ghaziabad, etc. from the testing labs. Just to give a breakup of top 4 testing facilities, Gujarat analyzed about 385 samples, out of which 51 samples manufactured by 20 firms were found not of standard quality. Similarly, 10 firms were found manufacturing not of standard quality samples in Mumbai. Chandigarh tested 10 firms not of standard quality manufacturing of cough syrups, and Ghaziabad has also tested 9 firms found with not of standard quality manufacturing. Apart from this, when we spoke to the Drug Controller General of India on this, he said that this is a routine practice to test samples, batches of cough syrups to be exported. India is keeping a strong vigil on the quality norms, and those found not meeting these quality tests will be failed. Manufacturers post this are free to remanufacture the batches, put them for fresh testing. Batches can be exported only once they get a go-ahead on WHO-based quality norms, and this is an ongoing exercise. Let's see how many more samples will be ruled out when it comes to export of cough syrups.
Timsy, many thanks for joining us. And with that, it is time for us to wrap up this edition of Business 360. Thanks very much for watching. Do stay tuned. The news will continue right here on CNBC-TV18.